Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. Now, this is a bit of a tough matchup. I'm playing Wood Elves, and I'm against the Dwarfs. It can often be pretty difficult. There's no sort of cheap armor-piercing units, you know, that are sort of, I guess, worth the cost against the Dwarves. I mean, the Eternal Guard, yes, they're, you know, pretty basic infantry, and they do have armor-piercing, but you're kind of spending a lot of money for the anti-large bonus. So, you know, they are armor-piercing, but they're not going to be the best thing in the world, unfortunately, at actually killing any Dwarves. But they do have very good melee defense, so they can hold out pretty well, which is nice. So in the bag though, I do have 4 Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. So these guys are armor piercing. They used to do magic damage as well, which meant that dwarves could just shrug off a lot of the damage because of their magical resistance, which was really annoying, to be honest. It was really irritating. The only armor piercing option would actually do diminishing damage against dwarves. It's a bit irritating, but no, not anymore. So that's not a problem. So these guys, I think 550 each, like not too bad, honestly. They're going to be pretty reliable, get a lot of damage in over the course of the battle. So that's nice. I really wanted these guys to be able to deal with things like rangers, just any ranged units of the dwarves I needed to shut down as quickly as possible, or at least give them a, you know, a juicy target to go for. Because, as you can see in the back, I have Wildwood Rangers. Wildwood Rangers, they will get a ton of work done, get a lot of damage in, but it almost takes no ranged attacks to kill them. They only have 40 armor, no missile resistance. They just get shot to pieces. It's really bad. You don't want that to be, you know, that to happen, because these guys will just end up costing you a fortune for no gain. So yeah, got to worry about the ranged units. That's the only consideration there. So I have 2 units of these. Also, I do have Sisters of Thorn, and way over in the distance, I have the Wardens of Scythrol, which I know I'm paying for the armor piercing, but I'm also getting the armor sundering, which is kind of nice. So these guys are going to be useful. And they do have shields, which is nice, and they stalk. And so that means I'm going to be able to sneak up on some of this stuff, which will be really handy. Also, I do have a Branch Wraith for that +5 melee attack for everyone nearby him, and he does have a lot of good spells to use. So I've got Withering to lower armor, Penundral Pendulum in case he, you know, lines up a load of things like rangers that I can just kill, you know, with one nice spell. Also, Melkoths, basically to slow down things like Slayers if they're in pursuit of something, like Orion here. So, you know, I want to be able to, you know, basically delay things with that, but it will do a little bit of damage to things like that, so it's worth I think bringing. But he also has Earthblood, so I can heal things. That'll be nice. Also, you know, Sisters of Thorn, they do have their own little buffs, which will be nice. So the Curse of Andra here, that'll put people on, you know, the dwarves on basically 0 melee attack, which will really help me out. It'll keep my guys surviving the front line and allow things like my Wildwood Rangers to get a lot of damage in with very little damage in return. So it'll be good. My opponent, though, this is going to be tough. So he's actually got 2 grudge throws, which you don't often see, but that's really going to help against my infantry. So I do have the sort of spaghetti lines to try and avoid getting hit too much, but that's going to do a lot of damage to, you know, basically all my front line, and they can be able to fire for a long time because it can be very difficult to get back here and deal with them. He also has the Dragonback Slayers, so these guys are very useful, and some other Slayers as well, so if I need treatment or anything like that, or cavalry, because obviously you don't want an army like this without defense against cavalry, so yeah, the Slayers, perfect solution for that. And his front line is all Longbeards. So these Longbeards can be very resilient, very high armor, very high melee defense. Not bad melee attack, to be honest. Yeah, they'll do pretty damn well. And they do have shields as well. Only bronze, so, you know, not the end of the world. And he has Ungrim. So Ungrim's a pretty cool pick. So if I brought Durthu or Orion or a dragon, he'd be able to deal with that anti-large and armor piercing. So very useful. I like Ungrim in this matchup. I think it's a good one. Also here, Peak Gate Guard. So this is an interesting pick. So they have magic and armor sundering and armor piercing, which I think is all really good for breaking things like Treeman and Treekin, because Treekin have obviously got that physical resist, but the magic damage will just negate that. So these guys I really like. I think they're a really interesting pick. I haven't really seen these guys picked against Wood Elves before. But yeah, against sort of tree units, they're going to do really well. They can do very well indeed. So I really like that. Also, just a load of Quarrelers. Just a ton of Quarrelers. So he went the same, you know, way I did. Just loads of cheap ranged units. And, you know, they do have shields as well, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, these guys will actually do pretty well. So I've got to shut these guys down, or else they could just easily all target 1 unit of Wildwood Rangers, and the whole unit will die. So, can't be having that. So, we are going to advance. So I'm actually sending Orion kind of ahead. I was going to have him throw some javelins and basically get shot at a bit, because, you know, he can heal up, it's not a problem. So I just want to basically give them a target so my other units can get in more safely. But here we go. Here's the grudge throwers firing in, and I was lucky there, turned at the last minute and didn't really get hit, so that is very lucky for me. But they're going to get some good damage into these units by the end of the game. So I'm trying to split up, go around the sides. That way I'm splitting the attention of the Quarrelers to each side. So if I suddenly come in Wildwood Rangers, they have to turn and start firing, and I can shoot them in the sides, so they won't get their shields. So, you know, I'm causing them some issues here, I like to think. So, Branch Wraith also moving up. I was hoping to get a pendulum or something along this lot, but they started moving, so it wasn't worth the risk. So that's a real pity. So I'm trying to get some damage into the Quarrelers, but with the catapult firing as well as the Quarrelers, I need to move these guys out and let the next unit take over. So, getting some damage in there. Also, I get my Sister Thorn in. I'm actually going to charge the Longbeards, I believe, then move back. Because it's only now that I'm actually moving my Eternal Guard up. And I will be moving these guys up a little bit later, once I deal with some of the ranged units. So here, Orion is actually in the thick of this. He's keeping 2 Longbeards busy, and I'm going to get a nice cheeky little charge. See if I can get some damage in. It actually does some alright damage, and then I'm going to pull them round. So here, I'm going to use Hawk's Talon to try and punish these guys, and I am actually shooting at them, which I don't mean to be doing. So as you can see, the Wards of Scythe roll, they're moving up, but my word, it is taking a lot of time. They will get here eventually, though, and hopefully by then, I would have dealt with a lot of these Quarrelers. So Slayer's obviously chasing down the Sister Thorn, and he's trying to cut me off here with the Peak Gate Guard. But I'm going to keep charging through, trying to charge into the back of this stuff. As you can see, my Eternal Guard have barely done a thing to his Longbeards. His Longbeards are just too resilient. But I'm keeping them busy for a little while, so that's something. Able to shoot into these Longbeards a bit. So and now my Wildwood Rangers are coming up. So these guys, they're shooting right into the side, trying to deal with my Glade Guard. And these ones are able to shoot into the sides of these units. So I'm getting some good damage in. So that's nice. So these ones, they're almost taken out. Orion, he's just running around at the moment. I'm just trying to keep him out of harm's way right now. These Slayers are a real nuisance. But all the Quarrelers are now shooting at him as well, so they're wasting their time. And I'm able to get a load of shots in. Which means that these guys, once all the ranged units are dead, they can shoot at whatever they like. So that's going to be great. So here, I actually get into the back of these Longbeards, because these are the Longbeards that actually sort of snuck around the side to try and surround my Eternal Guard. So now the Wildwood Rangers are in here, they can start doing some serious work, so long as the Eternal Guard hold out. I really hope they hold out. So I've used Shield of Thorns on all this stuff, because I wanted the extra weapon damage. I need this stuff to start dying. And this has been a mistake. Branch Wraiths should not be in here fighting the Peak Gate Guard. That is not a good idea at all. So anyway, so I'm shooting the Slayers a bit now, because frankly, they're really giving Orion some problems. So I'm taking the chance to, you know, do some damage there early. And here, I'm hitting them with the odd spell, but frankly, it's kind of backfiring. It's hurting my Eternal Guard quite a lot there. So I'm trying to get my not Eternal Guard, Wildwood Rangers around the back, and hopefully they can get involved. So that'll be good. So Sister Thorn trying to keep these Quarrelers busy, still shooting into all of them. Sister Thorn taking a huge amount of damage though. There's very few of them left, very little health. It's not looking great for them, truth be told. So here you can see Orion is being really punished here, and I'm having no choice but to shoot at the Slayers, because they're keeping pace with him. The Dragonback Slayers are able to slow him down, and amazingly they can keep pace. So I'm just going to keep moving, keep shooting at them, and hopefully that'll be enough. So here, lovely rear charge. These 2 Longbeards are both very, very injured. I'm amazed I've managed to do as much damage to these 2 units as I have, to be honest. But, you know, now with the Wildwood Rangers in the back, that should definitely help. But unfortunately the Peak Gate Guard are going to come in, and that's going to make the Wildwood Rangers more vulnerable. So here, luckily, I am able to shoot into the back of the Quarrelers, and my Wardens of Scythe roll have got into the back and are dealing with all the grudge throwers, so that's great news for me. So this is all pretty good. I mean, I'm getting shot at and I don't like that, but it's allowing me to shoot into these Quarrelers very safely. So trying to heal these guys up a bit. Unfortunately, the Eternal Guard are finally given up. Orion is running away. Luckily, he is, you know, he's got the Cloak of Isha, so he is healing up. So that's something. He was able to survive that, but that was pretty risky. But I kept 2 units of his Slayers very busy, and he was still using his little AoE attacks. So, you know, not bad. So finally, dealt with these Quarrelers, and now it leaves these free to shoot at whatever I like. So, yeah, they've been shut down now, and yeah, Wardens of Scythe roll, they're free to come in and start doing some work. So that's lovely. But unfortunately, oh, actually no, that was me doing the withering. So now everything's lost some of its armor, which is nice. Obviously all my stuff is armor piercing, but it will help me hit a little bit more, at least. So, and it will lower their leadership, though that's not really a problem for a lot of this stuff. I mean, these 2 units, yes, but for the most part, it's a bit iffy. Amazingly, these Wild Rangers are just about holding on. But it's not looking great. So I'm trying to get my tattered Sister Thorn just to chase down the odd unit, make sure they can't come back. And here, this one unit of Longbeards actually pushed through. I think it's still just chasing these Eternal Guard. So I've taken the opportunity to shoot into the sides so they don't get the benefit of their shields, and hopefully just wipe out that unit nice and quickly. So my Branch Wraith did actually break while he was fighting the Peak Gate Guard, but he ran away again. And you can see the Peak Gate Guard took a lot of damage from my Wildwood Rangers, so that's really good for me. That is really good. But the Slayers are now chasing Orion, I can't have that. And these guys have run out of ammo, so Glade Guard with no ammunition, I guess they're just going to have to run in and see what happens. It's a bit iffy. So Eternal Guard, all 10 of them in that unit coming back, it's better than nothing. And I am getting a lot of nice shots into these Dragonback Slayers. Obviously the armor piercing isn't going to help much with these guys, but then, you know, they still have 0 armor, they're still going to take a lot of damage being shot at like this. So here, managed to get Hawk's Talon on top of these guys, which does really help. These Longbeards are so tattered right now. Yeah, one unit is broke. One's a Scythe Roll, they're just going from unit to unit, mopping them up. They're still feeling pretty good. Actually, they're exhausted, but they're still doing well, so that's something. So here, I do actually use Male Cosmify Miasma, just to try and get a bit of extra damage there, knowing that my Branch Wraith had been really caught out and is probably doomed. Yeah, it's not great. But, you know, it helps whittle them down, so that's something. So over here, unfortunately, my Wildwood Rangers, Ungrim was able to finish them off eventually, so that's a pity. I've got my Sister Thorn, all 8 of them with their 260 health, which is just atrocious. I'm amazed they're still fighting. I've got them trying to chase things down right now, but it's not looking great, but I'll try my best. Annoyingly, this Grudge Thrower actually came back online, so that's a real nuisance. So, Pete Gateguard, pretty injured against, yeah, Wildwood Rangers, the Warden's a Scythe Roll. I have double the models that he does here, so I should be able to get some good damage in. If not for the Grudge Thrower, that's going to start hurting a lot. That's really not good. But Pete Gateguard, they're really for dealing with very heavily armoured units. You know, a lot of expense on these guys is for dealing with heavily armoured targets, and frankly, the Wardens of Scythe Roll just don't have much armour. I mean, it goes from 40 to 10. I mean, 40's not that good. So, yeah, Wardens of Scythe Roll, they're going to win that. They're just better. So that's pretty great for me. Here you can see I've got all my archers, all out of ammunition here, trying to deal with Ungrim. Might as well just keep it bogged down, right? I'm doing a bit of damage to him, it's all good. And I do have one unit that does have a bit of ammunition left, so I'm trying to get some damage into this stuff. So I actually shattered the Pete Gateguard, which is lovely. But now they're out of ammunition. So yep, Slayers, 5 Slayers, fighting my 27 Wardens. And frankly, Slayers, they have really good weapon strength. So if they can land a hit, they're going to do a lot of damage to my Wardens. So that's a bit of a pity. But I'm getting surrounded with all sorts of nonsense. And I do have the odd straggler charging in, just trying to get onto these stragglers. Here, the Sister Thorn did actually come back, 180 health there with only 6 models. It's pretty pathetic. So I'm having them try and fight the artillery crew. But honestly, I'm not sure they can win. That's how tattered they are. So Ungrim just completely bogged down. You can see his health is just going down and down and down. And all these units, I've used them, you know, they're done, alright? I don't care if they all get completely wiped out at this point. They've done their job. They shot things. Now they can't shoot things. I may as well just waste Ungrim's time and just put his health down a bit. You know, I've still got plenty of other stuff. Orion is unbreakable, so he's not going anywhere. So it's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. So, yeah, fun. So here, chasing off some more units. It's amazing that these Longbeards are still in the fight. And it's amazing that any of this stuff is still in the fight, to be honest. Just leadership is so low across the board, and model counts are so low across the board. It's really rather incredible. Unfortunately, that Goblobber, if he can get shots into here, he's going to be getting a lot of kills. And that's not something I want to do. So I did actually charge it with Orion, try and just, you know, poke Ungrim once. Yeah, he didn't really run away very quickly, so now Orion's nearly dead again, which isn't ideal. But he can survive a hit, you know? As he can get hit once, run out, and heal back to a point where he can survive a hit. So here, I actually run away from Ungrim, because I want to skewer him. And here we go. And skewer. Well, that was a miss. Alright, come on. Come on, Orion. You can get him this time. I have faith in you. So, just keep running away from him. I can outrun him. It's all good. And another javelin coming. And ka-chunk. 1 health. And he's dead. So, pretty wonderful. Pretty wonderful way to finish, I think. Skewering, you know, skewering Ungrim like that. Bit of a laugh. Good old Orion. I do love his javelins. They're really underrated, in my opinion, those javelins. Anyway, Pyrrhic victory. Tough matchup. Really tough matchup. But I just think I kept his things busy enough, you know. His ranged units, they could have wiped out my Wildwood Rangers. And at that point, I would have lost all my killing power, basically. But no, they were too concerned trying to deal with my archers. And, I mean, my archers did get more kills, but those were just on the Quarrelers, right? You know, that wasn't as valuable targets as the Wildwood Rangers were taking out in the Longbeards and, you know, a load of damage to Ungrim. The Wildwood Rangers, absolute MVPs here, because they weren't shot at. And that's all you need. If they don't get shot at, they will perform. If they do get shot at, then you may as well not bring them. That's the sad thing about them. Real glass cannons, those. But yeah, it worked out alright. It worked out okay. I was very surprised, honestly. It's not an easy matchup. The Dwarfs have a lot of good tools for shutting down the Wood Elves. Usually the only way to deal with them is basically just to bring a ton of Way Watchers and just try and kite them forever. It's really boring. It is not a fun game to play. So I want to be more aggressive. You know, Wildwood Rangers, get them in melee. You know, hack up the Dwarves. In a way that, you know, I think is very it's more honourable, I feel. So the dwarves shouldn't mind too much. Those slayers should feel they filled their oath nicely. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.